Yep.
All right. And we are back.
What's up?
I hit record this time.
Yeah. Already off to a good start.
I'm doing things. What is up? I don't even know how to start the show. I think we've done it differently every time.
Yeah, it seems fitting, though.
All right, sure. How you doing? What's up? This is Pop.
This is Lulu.
That doesn't feel right, does it?
Well, I feel like it'll be a work in progress, you know. But we're like the type of people that we don't like routine or like.
I like somewhat routine. I poop the same time almost every day.
It's different than your poop schedule.
Poop schedule be on point, yo.
Talking about matters of life, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I do like some level of routine. I'm not trying to do like the same cubicle job every day, but I do like, you know, I can't have complete chaos or I just won't function. I have a hard time functioning in hardcore chaos. Oh, did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Didn't that sound major?
It sounded powerful.
It was. So let's get into the show. I wish I could auto-tune that.
I mean, why can't you?
I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I mean, I guess I could figure it out. But
There's got to be an app on your phone for that.
I mean, yeah, but it's on my phone. Would you respect me?
Okay, well, I'm ready for would I?
If every time I nutted.
I was like, where's this going? Just stop.
It was auto-tuned.
How?
Like, it'd be like,
Be a tough sell.
You think we would have made it to marriage? Like, everything else is normal. I'm like the same person. Maybe I'm like a little bit better. I don't know what like your idea of me of being a better person would be, but like whatever it is that you be like, I wish you would change that. Like that part was changed, but then like you get that, but then you also get me auto-tuning every time I climax. No?
That would be tough.
Well, you don't think you can power through?
Could you?
I would YouTube that shit.
You ain't shit.
I would put that on like Pornhub or something. I would make a name for ourselves, yo. Nah, there's too many fetishes involved, yo. AutoTune, interracial, shit's like through the roof. We could, I wouldn't
take
market
over
this
the
shit out of
world.
us. Yeah. I'm just letting you know how I would roll. All right, we'll put a pin in it and we'll come back.
Yeah, we'll talk about that off of the world.
What we consumed this week, we made a vegan tofu noodle stew. I'm sorry, correction. You made a bangin' vegan tofu stew that I consumed.
Well, thank you. I wanted to point out the noodles that we had on there were not normal noodles. They were soy, kind of like a tofu noodle.
Right.
I feel like you couldn't really tell the difference.
No, you couldn't. You could if you were looking for the difference. But if someone just put it in front of you, you would chop it up. It was very thin. It was very light. I don't really like stews that much, but I tore it up like twice.
And if you or anyone is trying to cut down on their carb count,
it was like, what, like 3?
3 grams of carbs and then a gram of fiber
for the whole package.
No, that was a serving, but there was only 2 servings in a package. So. And
I think we got 4.
Yeah, we got 4.
I took it to work, and you took it to work, and I ate an extra bowl that night. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we are definitely on our way to eating better and doing right. I want to shout out the vegan group on Facebook, but I don't think it's appropriate yet. I think it's like because it's like a closed group.
I don't know what you're talking about.
See?
Yeah.
It's too exclusive. Sorry.
Not the first time for me.
What do you mean?
To not be included.
What else were you not included?
Yeah, I wasn't athletic. Was never picked first. Any of his teams, because I was tiny.
Wow. Well, yeah. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, neither was I. Because I was fat. You know? I mean, except for offensive line. I was a mean offensive lineman. You know what I mean? You don't even know what that means, do you?
Nope.
Okay, well, it's cool. Things that we've checked out, what we've seen this week. We binge watched The Good Place.
Yeah, we did.
We watched, like, all of it.
Did we skip some of the episodes?
We skipped 2 episodes. Yes. The Good Place is a half-an-hour sitcom on NBC starring, what's the dude from Cheers with the white hair?
Ted Danson?
Ted Danson. And is it Kristen Stewart?
No, isn't it the chick from Twilight?
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Damn it. What is Veronica Mars? It stars Ted Danson and Veronica Mars.
Okay.
For those, everyone should know who Veronica Mars is, right? Do you know who Veronica Mars is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It stars the blonde from, no, I can't think of any other movie she's ever been in. Damn, that sucks. Are you Googling it?
Oh, yeah. I mean...
Good on you. I'll ad-lib. So, the Good Show is an interesting concept, and it's pretty much like the main character... Kristen Bell dies and goes to the afterlife. And while she's there, she meets Ted Danson, who's the architect of that particular afterlife. And it is called The Good Place. And the only thing is that the person that they let into The Good Place, the person that they think Kristen Bell is... She is not that person. It's the same name, but she did none of those deeds. She was actually kind of an awful human being. So it's kind of like all these shenanigans of her trying to stay in the good place because the alternative is the bad place. And man, the season finale really pulls you in.
Yeah, and side note, it's made by Michael Schur, who also was the writer-producer for The Office and Parks and Rec. So,
I mean, that means it does. Good. It doesn't have a Park and Recs or Office vibe to that show.
No, but I could see it
because Parks and Recs and The Office were very similar as far as like that talking to the audience style of shooting. But the Good Place is like very sitcom-y. However, the color patterns are very similar to Parks and Recs, like a lot of bright colors and a lot of like fantastic people and like a lot of energy in the comedy. I like energy comedy. You know what I mean? I like comedy that has a lot of motion to it that makes me feel good. Like Hannibal Buress is not an energy comedian. He's like hey man, I'm up here trying to buy all these apple juices and you're being racist. Like he's like that type of like slow burn. It has potential to be funny, but he's not like. And then there's too much energy, like Kevin Hart, who's like a joke, and he's just trying to hit you with a whole bunch of jokes and energy at the same time. But I like a nice little like middle area where there's like verbal jokes, physical jokes, and then like what I like to call smart jokes, like the jokes that like you laugh a couple days later.
I also like when it doesn't include a laugh track.
Oh, you don't like a laugh track?
No, I don't like when people tell me when to laugh.
Ooh, rebel.
Well, like, some things aren't, like, it's, like, some parts aren't funny.
Right.
Some parts are funny.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm laughing, and there's no laugh track. And I'm like, good.
So, hold up, wait. So, if you're laughing...
But the laugh track isn't laughing, you're like, huh.
Do you feel like you're an outsider at that point?
I guess. A little bit.
Huh, interesting. That's interesting. I had... Remember, I don't know if we were kind of dating around the time that I was on that web show, Evan.
Yeah.
And he was aggressively into a laugh track because he was like, people need to know when to laugh. And I was like, I don't think laugh tracks work.
I think laugh tracks are dated, too.
I think the only time they work is when they're supposed to be dated.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish we can do a documentary on the history of the laugh track.
Why can't we?
That's what I'm talking about. That's why I married her. Because she never says wait, I'm trying to, now see, the whole world can listen to me, how I am in real life. Fuck! Now they know things about me that I don't want them to know.
Oh, I mean, you're the editor.
Yeah, but that would be lying. Right, I got to be authentic. Okay, so you know what else is authentic? These news stories, because they happen in real life. Damn, you see that smooth-ass segue? That was kind of tight, right?
How's it going?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You make me better. Okay, so political. We should get some music. I think before each one, if we had some dun, 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 that'd be like political, and then for entertainment, it could be like dun, 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 like TMZ, Lulu and Pop, boom. Entertainment, news, and then for like environmental, we just play some Enya.
Is that Enya? Oh. Yeah, that is. Oh.
You know?
Yeah.
You know? And then for local, I mean, we can just have a
car
L
horns.
go by.
Car horns and gunshots.
Screaming. I wouldn't say gunshots. But I would say, because we don't, I mean, I wouldn't, not our area. I'd say a car horn, a train zooming.
There's been some nights where we've been like fireworks, gunshots.
Some people screaming or yelling loudly, but not like aggressively. Mm-hmm. Just like, da, 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 da. You know? We'll figure it out. Local still pending. And then for relationships, we should be like,
No.
Yeah. Mm-mm. 80s porn music?
No. See, I like that one better. No, we could do without that.
All right, well, fine, whatever. It's a work in progress. The show's a work in progress. If you well, you know what? I'm just going to do it, and I'm pretty sure the listens that week are going to skyrocket. We're going to be like in the thousands because people are going to be into my musical ensembles.
Yeah. We'll market that.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Political. You want to take this one first?
Okay.
Actually, no. Let me do this one because I didn't see SNL. Okay, I did not read this beforehand, so that's probably my bad on that.
Well, there was a lot to pick from this week too for political. I was kind of like, which thing?
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So, as everyone knows, the Cheeto in Chief is officially in office.
Yep. Lasai.
El Trumpe. Not my president.
Hashtag.
Is officially in office. And it went down on Friday at the inauguration. Chrisette Michele performed. There's a funny video online. I'll try to find it. But it's like, it's of one of Trump's talking heads. And they're like, oh, you know, I know that, like, Beyonce has come to other, like, inaugurations and performed, but I heard, Toby Keith, and I was like, Toby Keith, better than Beyonce, and it was like, they had her talking, and it was like 3 black correspondents, and they all just, look like you told them, like, you're eating dirt, or, like, the sky is falling. Like, they were just like, are you fucking kidding me?
You can't even fake say that.
Toby Keith over Beyonce?
Like, I couldn't pick out Toby Keith in a lineup.
I wouldn't even think I would pick Toby Keith over Solange.
I wouldn't pick him. I mean,
I don't think I would pick Toby Keith over Maya.
I was going to say over some, like, dated-ass person like Rick Springfield. I would pick.
Who?
Rick Springfield, the 80s guy.
Oh, I mean, let me see. Who would I rather listen to than Toby Keith?
I would pick many people over Toby Keith.
I don't even know a Toby Keith song to really compare that to.
Oh, you know what? I did read. He sang like some super like super American song about putting
America,
a boot.
Fuck yeah.
Well, the one about putting the boot up your butt. Like if you don't like us, I'll put a boot up your butt.
Oh.
Something along the lines of that.
So pretty much, it's like nails on a chalkboard. Toby Keith.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we solved the rhythm, the riddle of who you would rather listen to over Toby, instead of Toby Keith. And nails over chalkboard. We would rather have listened to Toby Keith than nails over chalkboard. Yeah. That's an awful sound in real life too.
Oh yeah. Oof.
I'm glad that way. Like my skin just shivered listening to it. So that happened on Friday. On Sunday, the women of Saturday. On Saturday. Thank you for making me better. Corrected me on the air. I appreciate you. The women mobilized and they marched. And they marched down on D.C. And I didn't know this, but apparently there was several women's marches all over.
There was more than several. There was a lot.
Yeah, they were all over the world. Mm-hmm. They were all over. They were on a larger national scale. The funny thing, my mom actually went to a march in South Carolina of all places. And then afterwards went and saw Hidden Figures.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then went to Exaspie's for some chicken fingers and fries.
Aw.
She had like a complete, like, stay woke, Saturday day where she
That's so nice.
she marched. She saw some film and then got some, like, processed soul food. I mean, it's fried, So, yeah. So, the funny thing about this is there was more people in attendance protesting than there was at the actual inauguration.
A whole lot more.
Like, the photo, when they compared Obama's in 2009 to his, was laughable.
Yeah.
Laughable. It looked like the pre-party.
Yeah, there were people who were like, there was more people on a sunny day in D.C. out here than the people that showed up.
It looked bad, and I mean, I'm here for it. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, fuck
it. It is what it is. Did you have anything else you wanted to put in on this? A lot of our friends went.
Yeah, a lot of our friends went.
Shout out to all the people I saw on Instagram taking lovely pictures and showing support and unison. Mm-hmm. I think it's important that that like people got together and they like showed their protest against Trump. I like now that he's in, it's kind of like we're really fucked.
It's really scary.
Because the best case scenario, and I honestly think this is the best case scenario for us. Like realistically, he does 4 years and leaves. Mm-hmm. That's the best case scenario. Because I was thinking, if he got impeached or some shit halfway through, we would still get Pence.
We would still have a ton
and
of shit.
Pence is just, I think he's actually worse. Because Trump is an idiot, but Pence is actually a congressperson who has some scary ass
ideology.
Yeah, like some scary ass beliefs and whole like get up. Like Trump's just kind of like here for the show and here for the tweets, but Pence is actually trying to make some global changes and trying to make America Christian, like hard, like Christian white values all the way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't know, like. Realistically, that would be the best outcome we can possibly get. I don't think we've ever had a president that was impeached. I don't think Trump will get impeached. I think he's just going to ride out. Hopefully, we don't get 8. If he did get impeached, hopefully it's kind of like halfway through. We only get 2 years of Pence. Mm-hmm. Best case scenario, he gets in. Oh, actually, would that be the best case scenario? He gets impeached and we get 2 years of Pence? You could do a lot of damage in 2 years.
Yeah.
Not as much damage as 6 years. Do you remember the stimulus package from Bush?
Well, that's what fucked us all up.
Oh, my God, it was awful. It was like a loan that you didn't ask for, that they make you take. Imagine if your bank put $1,000 in your account, and you were like, yo, credit union, what's up with this $1,000? And they said, oh, no, you know what? The economy's fucked up. This $1,000 is for you to go out, buy stuff, and, like, charge up the economy. So you're like, oh, cool. You're going to go out and buy some stuff. Then tax time comes around, and the bank's like, hey, remember that $1,000 we gave you? We want that back.
With interest?
Nah, we just want it back. But it's just one of those things like you're like, why did you know? Like, it wasn't like
whose idea was this?
Right, like you didn't apply for it. It wasn't like, oh, there's a stimulus package. Go to stimuluspackage.gov to apply, put in your social security number and your name and your address and your account, and we will hit you up. That money appeared in your account. Like, it just showed the fuck up. And then they took it back.
Yeah, I was in college.
Oh, man, it was so bad. I remember doing my taxes, and I was, like, getting back, like, a decent amount of money. And they're like, did you get a stimulus package? And I was like, yeah. And it was like, yeah, give that back.
Damn.
Give that all back. It was fucking awful. You know what I mean? So it's just, like, pushed it a lot. But I'm up here, like, best case scenario, he does 4 and dips. Is that the best case scenario? I guess doing 2, because we can't do 3 years of Pence. No. Like, if he gets impeached in the first year, like, because when you get impeached, the vice president just steps up. It's not like you guys get impeached together.
Oh, unless y'all are like.
And Pence is pretty clean.
Yeah.
Like, he's not out in the streets being messy. He's behind closed doors being filthy.
Yeah.
But he's not being messy in the streets like Trump is.
He's not on Twitter.
Yeah. And that's what my thing is. Like, I'm like, ugh. So I guess I've rephrased that. Best case scenario, not Trump doing 4 years, but Trump doing like 2 years, and then 2 years of Pence. That would be the best case scenario. But then we would have a president who got impeached. That would be like, well, I mean, he's already done so much. Like, why not? You know?
Yeah.
So, do you have anything you want to say about the women's march?
No. I mean, it was dope.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a start. People were protesting more than just women's rights. There was people, I was reading all the different things people were there for.
Right.
So hopefully, this isn't the first and last. Hopefully this is just the first of many protests. And hopefully, I'm hoping that, the women's rights eventually maybe does a joint thing with, the Black Lives Matter, and it just becomes something kind of, because we're all in it together.
I don't think that will happen, though.
That's what I'm saying.
It would be nice, though, yeah. It would be nice. But I think Black Lives Matter kind of chilled a little bit. Just a little bit. Because I think it was getting, a little hot for them.
Yeah.
And plus they were being painted to be almost
something
terrorists.
they weren't. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that it was sometimes you're a little bit too hot. You just gotta continue to do work, just not be in the forefront.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe they could combine.
Yeah, I think something would be great like that, or I think something more, I don't want to say always peaceful, but it was nice to see a peaceful one because they were straight burning up D.C. On Friday.
Yeah.
They were rioting pretty hard.
Yo, but that dude got punched in the face, and that was
fuck
fucking
that dude.
awesome.
What's his name, Spencer or something?
Yeah, the fucking neo-Nazi dude.
His damn fucking Pepe Frog. When did white supremacists take over Pepe Frogs? I don't know either. It must be I think it's a Reddit thing. I don't know. And to this day, I've never been on Reddit, and I don't care to.
Nope.
I'm all good.
Yeah, me either.
Even when they come up in a Google feed, I could be inquiring about 4K cameras, and I'll see a Reddit thread on the best 4K cameras to buy at a certain like this year, and I'm like, nah, I'll just go to YouTube.
Yeah.
I just hang out there.
Speaking of neo-Nazis and such, this kind of brings us to the next topic.
Uh-oh, was that a segue?
Yeah.
Look at you, sliding in here with your segue.
So you missed SNL when I watched it today.
Yeah, I don't really
You were
care
gaming,
for SNL.
yeah. Well, I watch it usually weekly, but Aziz Ansari was on it, hosted it last night, and I'm a fan of his.
Yep.
As are you.
Yep. Master of Nothing. Check it out on Netflix.
Yeah, I can't wait for season 2.
Right.
So he hosted last night, and his opening monologue was, what was that? Oh, was you drinking?
I'm sorry, I went a little hard.
Jeez Louise.
On this Pellegrino.
Yeah, I guess on my ginger ale if you want.
Oh, thank you.
So his opening monologue, he addressed some things about Trump and such that everyone's been addressing. But what he brought up that I thought was that a lot of people haven't addressed really was the emergence of what Aziz, I hadn't heard it called this yet, the lowercase KKK.
What does that mean?
I kind of took it as how we call it casual racism.
Oh, okay.
But basically, he was talking about how this small group of people have started to emerge that have been trying to make it more socially acceptable.
Right, and that's what that show, Generation KKK. That's why everybody was protesting that because they were come the fuck on. Generation
Don't normalize
KKK.
it. Yeah.
There was no TV show not to compare KKK to BLM, Black Lives Matter. However, people were comparing Black Lives Matter as a form of hate, a hate group like KKK. But even with that being said, I'm not comparing them. But if they were to be compared, there was a TV show, Generation KKK. And then they tried to change it to escaping the KKK after the generation tested awfully. But it was still shot. Like, people got paid. It's still, like, shot. There was commercials. There was trailers for it. They have all their episodes. There was no why Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? There was no generation Black Lives Matter. There was like nothing like that. And I think it's kind of funny, like, they normalize what they want, but not everything in general. So, yeah, but the alt-right movement is pretty much
fucking horrifying.
The same thing as the KKK white supremacist movement. They just have a different name. Alt-right.
Yeah.
Sounds trendy. Sounds like a computer hacker group. Like they would run around with those masks on and hoods.
Yeah.
Was that mask from that fucking TV show? Was that show called?
Scream?
No, not the Scream mask. The movie, V for Vendetta.
They, what's it called? The other people wear them.
The hackers.
Yeah.
The anonymous folks.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of anonymous, boom, segue. Global temperatures reached a new high in 2016, making the first time the planet experienced 3 consecutive years of record warmth. But you wouldn't know about the alarming trend from public affairs shows that aired on Sunday, I am not reading this right at all, which are closely watched by and feature top members of the media, administrations, and Congress. None of the major shows, NBC's Meet the Press, ABC's This Week, CBS, Face the Nation, CNN, State of the Union, or Fox News Sundays, included the discussion into their general reports.
Ain't no one talking about it.
They don't care. They want this shit to burn.
The only people on TV that brought it up this week, funny enough, SNL, Michael Che.
Wow.
He brought it up.
He has a really funny stand-up.
He's funny. He's like, he makes one of the people that make that show.
Yeah. The funny thing about Michael Che, and this is like a physical criticism, is his face makes me think he's larger than he is. You know how like certain people just have like that round face that makes you think that their bodies are bigger than they actually are? Like he looks like he has the face of someone I would think would be overweight, but he's not.
No.
You know what I mean? Like he's actually like really, really, really thin. You know what I mean? But then there's certain people who, like, you've seen, like, some large people who have skinny people faces.
Yeah.
And then there's some people who have, like, big faces. Round faces. And you see their body and they're thin. And I'm just like, how? That is so, like, I guess it's just very round shaped. But anyway, that's not here nor there. Yeah, the climate shit, the funny thing is I don't know why this is such a conspiracy. Oh, you know what? I do know why it's such a conspiracy. Because they don't want to stop looking for fossil fuels and things like that and like alternatives to things that are destroying our environment. What are they going to do when this shit's fucked?
I feel like they're all like, I'll be dead by then. It's not my problem.
Yeah, but where are you making all this money for what then? Like, how much money do you need in a lifetime? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty enraging. I will say right now, it feels really nice outside. For a goddamn January, though. I mean, we were out, we didn't even wear a jacket, really. I was wearing a hoodie all day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's kind of nice a little bit. I know it's bad. I know it's like not great. I know the polar ice caps are melting and shit is not looking good. And I know we've done
it's just like
damage we can't undo.
I just think about even from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
The snowstorms, like the winters we would have where it'd be like we get fucking feet of snow. Like more than once.
Yeah.
Like winter was like winter and now it's like
it's happening so fast. Like 20 years is not that much time.
No. And these people are just like,
getting paid.
We're going to take the climate page off of the fucking White House website, along with a bunch of other important things.
Yo, the crazy thing is like...
Put down our own agenda of bullshit.
like Melania's like jewelry and dresses.
Yep.
In Trump's TV shows.
It's fucking enraging and sickening.
Don't worry, baby. We're going to be all right.
I know.
We will get through this. We're going to go gun shopping. We're going to start taking survival classes. Learn how to do things like knit a sweater. Yeah. Make drinkable, potable water through like a charcoal and like a handkerchief.
Yeah. Maybe starting fires with the stones. Can you do that?
I can start a fire with a lighter.
Woo! Selling point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I could do no. I can't do none of that. We should probably learn some of the basic survival shit, though.
Yeah, we should.
Like, not like hardcore shit. Like, I'm not trying to be man versus wild. But, like, maybe like Cub Scout levels. You know? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not trying to find an arrowhead. But I would really appreciate to know how to, like, know which way is north. Or, you know, do you know what to do if you, like, break your foot?
Cry.
No. I think it elevated or something. Or, like, if you sprain something really bad, or how to know if something's infected, how to clean it. You know, when they be like, oh, this wound's infected, I'd be like, from what? I guess it's just earth, like just life.
If you don't have access to clean water, or soap.
What about rubbing alcohol? Like alcohol, like if it was bad, if we got like vodka, could vodka be used to like clean wounds?
I feel like that's something we got to find out.
More importantly, we got to learn how to shoot. Like I know how to shoot. I'm pretty good. I was a marksman in the military for the most part. Gotta get you up on your shoot game. Yeah. Would you rather have a shotgun or a handgun?
Probably a handgun.
Really?
I'm tiny. Maybe
That's true.
Work up to shotgun.
Yeah. I just kind of thought a shotgun would be better because it sprays further. It's like a wider spray. You know. I guess a handgun would be more ideal. Well, you know, we'll see. You may get to the range and realize you're an automatic rifle type of gal.
Yeah, that would be nuts.
Then you'll be like fucking Ted Cruz cooking up some like tofurkey bacon on the barrel.
Tofurkey bacon.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Yo, that's the hard part about giving up like meats on the reg is bacon. Like we was in Dunkin' Donuts today.
It was just and the TV screen. You were like, oh my God, it looks so good. I look up, it's just like a giant video of bacon being cooked.
Yeah, it was like bacon was dropping from the sky onto like a sandwich. And then it was like pepper and then sugar.
Wasn't salt?
Because it's sweet and, was it sweet?
It was like candied bacon, kind of?
It's not candy. It's just like sweeter. It's really awful. Like if you think about it, like bacon is already problematic for your arteries. And then what do you go? That's like dipping your bacon in more bacon. It's like I'm gonna cook my bacon with crumbs of bacon on it. Like you're already doing too much.
And then you just pour some sugar on top.
Yeah, because like I was staring at it and my mouth was watering and it looked good. But then I started really thinking about it, and I'm like, who the fuck are they making this for? And I just like looked around the Dunkin' Donuts and it's like the same sad fuckers we always see in there. And I'm like, these dudes' insides probably look like shit, and they're addicted to Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Do you want me to take the next one and you do the relationship, or do you want to?
I don't know what the relationship one's about.
Well, you should read up on it right quick.
Okay.
Okay, in the local news, sexual assault survivor, mother of 3, spearheads Philly's Women's March. Wow, that's pretty impressive. I didn't even know. I guess, where did they march at? Did they march?
They were around Center City. I saw like the Parkway.
Oh, really?
Parkway was full.
Yeah, every time everyone always goes down to the Parkway, and I think because it has I think it looks better in pictures.
It's true.
Because it's like you can, if you block it up properly, like you will look massive. The Parkway kind of looks like where like the president does his thing in D.C.
So Rocky ran up the steps.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think...
Pretty majestic. You have like the art museum on one side, and then like Ben just up there being.
There's no Ben down there.
Isn't there a statue of Ben?
Wait. Where? In the water fountain? Oh, is that him on the horse?
Yeah, he's on the horse.
Okay. Yo, Ben was crazy racist.
Was he was no, I'm confusing him with Jefferson. Jefferson had all the
shit, me too. Fuck.
Jefferson had all the babies, right?
One of them was just tearing.
That
up
was the
some
president,
slaves.
I believe. Was it?
No, I think it was Ben Franklin. I think Ben Franklin had mad. I think he had mad slaves. Did they say this lady's name?
Yeah.
Oh, Emily Cooper Morris.
She just looks like someone's mom, too.
Shout out to her. She really put this thing together. I don't know the full story. Hopefully she's had a lot of help from the community. But the picture I see of her on thephilly.com, she's there with her daughter, Izzy. And, I mean, I think with a mom like that, like, you're going to grow up woke, and you're going to have, some ideas of, what it is. I just always hope that, like, with a level of wokeness, there needs to be, like, a level of responsibility. And it's just, like, I remember when I became woke and I realized the problem was a little bit larger than just black folks. You know what I mean? And it's kind of hard to get past the fact that, you yourself and your people's problems, it's hard to get past that to see, okay, when we do get to the mountaintop and we do get, you know what I mean, like all the rights and all this, that, and the third, what then? You know what I mean? And you got to be able to see past the what's then into like what now, like, the generations type thing. So, like, I think that's always like the biggest responsibility of being woke a little bit. Or maybe that's not. Maybe some people just feel like, yo, when you're woke, you should just kind of stay where you are and kind of just work on fixing the current situation. I don't know. I don't know the answers to a lot of these questions. And I don't try to act like I do. Did you ever figure out if it was Ben or Jefferson? Wait,
yeah.
Did you look or no?
Yeah, I am right now.
Oh. I was just ad-libbing for all that time for you.
No, I was brushing up on the article, too, that you...
Oh, isn't that an interesting article?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. I'm really excited to take it away from you.
You're so cute.
I mean, hopefully we can find a better way to segue into it. Our segue game is not strong.
What?
The segue game is not strong.
Whatever.
Our segue game is okay. Like, if our segue game was in a prize fight, I'd be like, what are the odds on that one? I don't know if that prize fight is winning with the segue game that it currently has. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
My computer's being real slow right now.
It's okay.
It doesn't like when I type in the word slavery. It's like, oh, bro.
Computer's like, nah, dog.
Stop.
The computer's all nervous. Like, I don't know if I should be searching for this.
Is this
like,
word okay?
I don't know about that. But yeah, shout out to anyone who went down to the rally, the women's march rally in D.C., and to the people who went to the local women's march rally. If you went to the women's march rally, hit us up. Let us know what you thought. I think I remember like the 100-man march that was popping off back in the day.
What was that?
When was that? It was in the 90s.
Oh.
It was pretty much like the women's march, but it was like all black men.
Oh, that's what's up.
Spike Lee made a movie called Get on the Bus about it.
Oh. I should watch it.
I mean, it's not a super
good?
great film.
Oh.
It was back when Spike Lee was in, I think he was just going through some stuff. As my love affair with Spike Lee's films, as I've gotten older, I've seen how complex the relationship is. And it's kind of one of those situations where it's like, as you're older and you look back on some of your younger relationships as like a teenager, you're like, those relationships were unhealthy as fuck. Do you ever have those moments?
Oh, yeah.
And you're just like,
sure.
wow. Like, if that shit was to happen today, I would be like, yo, we need to have a talk, like, ASAP. Like, this shit that you're currently doing is unfucking acceptable. And I feel like that a lot of times with a lot of stuff that was happening in his films. But then again, there was a lot of beautiful things happening in his films as well, because he did make a lot of. He almost made, I would say, every significant black star from the 90s got their start from Spike Lee. Did you find it? Did you find it?
What?
Okay, we're moving on.
Oh, it's a Franklin?
No, we're moving on.
Yes, I did.
Segue. Nope, segue. Just segue.
Oof, you segued right through me.
Segue.
Fucking Paul Blart, Marl Kaplan, and segue.
I don't care. Did you find it?
I did.
Do you want to share?
So, Franklin owned as many as 7 slaves. He posted paid ads for the sales of slaves who were captures of runaway slaves. Let's see. In 1758, he advocated the opening of a school for the education of black slaves in Philadelphia. After returning from England in 1762, he became more anti-slavery, believing that the institution promoted black degradation rather than the idea blacks were inherently inferior.
What?
Yeah, by 1770...
No. Repeat that again?
So, he became more anti-slavery in his view, believing that the institution promoted black degradation rather than the idea that the blacks were inherently inferior.
Oh, interesting.
By 1770, he had freed his slaves and attacked the system of slavery and the international slave trade.
Okay, and this was who?
Franklin.
Ben Franklin?
Yeah.
So he's kind of woke as fuck. So was Jefferson the one out there that was in the streets?
Yeah, Jefferson was the one that
was
out there in the streets, as you will say.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for finding that.
No problem.
Yeah,
Wiki.
sorry, but I was like ad-libbing for a hot minute. I started talking about Spike Lee, and you were just staring at me.
Because you're so handsome.
You see me? Throw your guy a line. When you see me up in the water, I'm like, I'm splashing around. You know what I mean? Throw out that life raft. Don't be like, don't wait for me to yell, throw out the life raft before you throw out the life raft.
I got you.
All right.
I'm here.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for clearing that up for me.
No problem.
I wonder how many like black descendants does Jefferson have floating around?
Yeah, what's that? Ancestry.com.
I don't think that tells you that. That would just tell you, from what my understanding, that just kind of tells you where what area. They'll be like, oh, we traced you all the way back to, looks like your family got started off in like Ireland or some shit. You know what I mean? Or this, that, and the third. We traced you as far back as like such and such and such and such. But I don't think they'd be like, yo, you're related to the Johnsons. Go look them up. Show up to the next barbecue. Like, it's fucking lit. I want to do one of those, like, pretty bad, but I just don't want to pay the money for it.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
You know?
I don't know how much they could trace back. Like my grandma was adopted. So they can't, you know? I wonder what about, like, things like that.
Yeah, my granddad was adopted. And before then, everyone else in my family was probably slaves.
So, yeah, like, how?
I don't know.
I should just call them up and ask them a bunch of questions about how. I'm sure they get questions. They have to get a ton of questions.
I think they probably have some, like, if I know anything about sales, they have a script or something to fire at you when you be like, how can you track my African ancestors?
Yeah.
There probably is some type of, like, rebuttal where they're like, hey, be cool. We can not only track your African ancestors, but we can pinpoint you down to, like, which, like, country in Africa you're from, if you're from Africa.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, and that's how they'll try to spin it. They'll try to be like, whoa, like, oh, like what? Whoa, I may not be from Africa?
And then you're
what
just
do you
like,
mean,
what?
sir? And you're like, well, you know, there are some indigenous kind of black-looking people in Australia, so, you know, who knows where you're from? And then you're like, oh, wow. And then you find out, like, that's not true at all. You, like, pay $80, you swab your mouth.
And they're like, yeah.
They're like, yeah, you're from Africa. Like, great, what part? got blurry there.
Yeah, we've narrowed it down to this half of Africa.
You're from
the lower half.
South Africa?
You're like, the fuck?
And you're like, oh. Well,
it's like
great.
saying you're from the fucking West Coast. They're like Midwest.
True.
The middle part. You're like,
that's not very helpful.
Oh.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I know that I have seen some where, no, wait. There's two of them, because Ancestry has the commercial where the lady found, like, her great-great-grandmother's hand signature or some shit.
Wow. I
think that's Ancestry. And they was like, oh, my God, she signed this. Bah. I always get upset. I always take that shit so personally. Because I'd be like, yo, show the black people.
Yeah.
That story would be mad different. It wouldn't be fucking popping at all. That shit would be like, they'd be like, yo, we cannot air this commercial. Maybe like some dude like Tyrone. Tyrone be like, yo, I went on Ancestry.com and I was just really trying to find myself. He'll be like well spoken. He'll be looking nice. Like he won't be looking like what is that thing called? Like a stereotype. It'll just be like a regular dude. And he'd be like, and then I was able to trace back my great ancestors to this particular plantation in like Georgia, and I actually visited it, and it was just like, it really bring like some peace to the situation. And then it's like Ancestry.com.
Yeah, it'd be everyone.
Horrible commercial.
That'd be the type of thing where everyone in the room gets quiet. Like you're at like a house party and like that comes on, and everyone's just like
like at the meeting, they're like, let's go with the first one, the one about her signing the Coming to America paper. Let's just do that one.
Let's do Mary's.
Let's do Mary's. Mary sounds good. She looks like the girl from that movie Brooklyn. Let's just go ahead and do that. That's a really cute story. What about Tyrone? Nah, let's just put it on YouTube, unlisted. We don't want any trouble. We don't want any trouble. And speaking of no trouble, let's slide to this last story.
Yeah. So this was your find.
Yeah.
So as online dating surges in popularity, few millennials have the time, money, or desire to sit with a stranger over a long meal.
Yeah, they're saying that the dinner date is dead.
I believe that.
Oh, yeah. I believe that when I would hear, like, I remember when we first met. When we first met, I was still in my 20s. I think I was like 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, no, I was...
Yeah, you were 28, because I gave you a birthday gift for your 29th birthday.
Okay.
I remember celebrating with you.
Cool. So I was 28, and I remember we had a mutual friend at Starbucks, and that person was talking about the dating scenario and how she had to pay for dates, like, regularly. And not just, like, her meal, but, like, the date in general. And I was like, yo, where did you meet these motherfuckers at? And it was like, OkCupid. What's that other one that was kind of popping back in the day? Was it Plenty of Fish or no?
I think there was Plenty of Fish, too.
That was popping? I know OkCupid was, like, the go-to
like,
spot.
everyone was on OkCupid.
Yeah, I was not on OkCupid.
I was.
I know, I remember. Some dusty
Josh,
motherfuckers coming up to the store.
Shut up.
Like, who is these motherfuckers? Who are these motherfuckers? Like, oh, yeah, I'm going to take Lauren out. I was like, yeah, all right.
But none of them, I can't recall ever being on a dinner date. Like, it was always drinks or coffee. Because nobody wanted to pay.
When you go for drinks, did you not get food? Was there not, like, fried pickles or nothing?
I don't never remember ordering food. Plus, I didn't really, like, I had a thing with, like, eating in front of people I don't know. Like, messy food, like nachos.
I think we ate on our first, like, I think we ate at Local 44's.
Did we? We ate after. We got pizza.
Fine, but we ate.
Yeah. I was, like, pretty drunk by then, though.
Oh, okay. So once you get drunk, you're...
I'm a little less self-conscious.
Oh, okay. That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really can't say much because I'm like thinking like when I was dating, I didn't always do dinner in a movie. I didn't always do dinner as a date, but I do remember food was more ideal than movies. Like, I know dinner in a movie, I hella didn't do that because that's expensive as fuck. Like, hell of expensive. But I remember, like, I would do food and drinks.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was trying to budget out for dates.
Oh,
like, I was like,
you're
I
a
got
gentleman.
this chick on Monday. I got this chick on Wednesday.
See, like,
by Friday, whoever that chick is, we're just going to have to just chill at my house or something. She was, like, lower on, like, the totem pole of where I thought our relationship was going to be.
Like, I just feel like, I guess people are going out on a lot of dates now, maybe. They're like, I ain't trying to spend money.
I don't think they're going on dates. I guess it's a date. I don't know if meeting someone for, I guess it's a date. It just doesn't seem.
Definitely no romance in it.
Right. I think it would be hard pressed for me to be out for like coffee and then go back to the crib and smash. Because to me, when I think of coffee, I think of like midday or something like that. Like coffee, to me, I consider it like
coffee date.
Yeah, like a coffee's like a screening. You know what I mean? A coffee's like a phone conversation in real life, as far as I view it. And getting drinks, like if I got drinks and then we went back and smashed, I would kind of be like, I think I would be turned off a little bit by that. Because it would just be like, did you eat beforehand? Like, did this alcohol just get into your system and you just lowered your ambitions?
Well, usually I think they were at times, like they'd be like, oh, let's meet at 8 for a drink. So it'd be past dinner time.
8's not past dinner time.
Or happy hour.
Yo, if your first date's happy hour, that's a fucking red flag. I don't care. That's like showing up with a fucking coupon.
I'm just saying, like, I think people, like, plan things around, like, that dinner time.
From what I've been hearing about, like, I know a younger dude, he's like 23, and he's on the dating scene. And when he dates, it's never solo. It's always, like, invited out with a bunch of friends. You know? And I think that's mad crazy, because, like, what if you're there for person A, but then person C is kind of throwing you game?
Or what if person A is kind of into the dude on the other side of her? And you're just kind of like...
Yeah, like, I mean, I know I've known plenty of chicks who would invite dudes out to scenarios like that just because they don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, I would be like, yo, doesn't that dude like you? And like, yeah. I'm like, but why are you here with homeboy that you're trying to sleep with? And she'll be like, oh, he's just my friend. And I'd be like, yo.
Yeah, red flag. Like,
yo, he's trying to crawl up out of friend zone, like, right now. He's trying to get liberated ASAP. So, I don't know, man. I think that's kind of weird. I get it. I think it makes sense because an hour-long dinner date, which to me, like, yo, if your date went an hour long, you fucked up. Yeah. Like, yo, that date is done, son. Like, to me, like, my average date on a good night, if it was a good date, like at least 3 hours, I feel like. I feel like if dinner, drinks, conversation, go back to the crib. I'm not even saying smashing. I'm just saying, like, a good date's like 3 hours. Like, you guys connected. If your date's an hour, yo, that shit's chalked.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's all I mean, I don't know. So, yeah, so if you're a millennial, or I wonder how's that going to affect people who aren't millennials. Like people who are like, you know, maybe they're 36, 37, they got married at 20, now they're like single. Like, what is their dating scape going to be like? You know?
Rough.
Like, are they going to, do you think that they would subscribe to the dinner date, what they would be used to? Or would they try to, or not even that, like, let's say a millennial let's say like a person that got married at like 18, and now they're like 28. That's technically still a millennial, right? Yeah, so they're like 28, they're on the scene, like, are they doing dinner dates?
I don't know.
You know, like, what was dating like at 18? Netflix and chill was not popping off back then.
At 18, it was like movies and, because you couldn't go to bars.
Nope.
So I think it was more of like going to diners and...
The mall. Like walking around the mall, window shopping, food court, fucking buying Annie Ann's pretzels and shit, making out on like fucking park benches and shit. So, God bless him. Mm-hmm. Who knows what the fuck the future of dating is going to look like?
Yeah, it's already like way different because of all the online dating. It's just like,
yeah.
What was that one Black Mirror's thing with? Was there a Black Mirror's episode with online dating?
They had that really cool one about when you die, you get to put your soul in that box.
Oh yeah, that shit was dope.
Yeah, and you can like live with that person like forever through eternity and shit. That's like your digital self.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I've never dated really through the apps. Like, what was your general experience like as far as app dating? I mean, I know overall it was pretty trash because, but like overall, like, because I can tell you now, like the only online stuff that I've done was like, it wasn't websites for dating.
Okay.
It was like your Black Planet, like back when Black Planet was a thing. It was like your Facebook. It was like your MySpace type thing.
I mean, I feel like as long as you're safe about it, that's important. But for me, when I did it because I was working at UPenn in UPenn area, which for me, I was like, I'm never going to meet anyone here around here that I want to date. And all my friends were gay. I was going to gay clubs all the time, which I loved, but I'm like, never going to meet anyone. So that was, and I had a lot of friends that were doing it. A lot of friends, a lot of coworkers at Starbucks.
Out of all your friends that were doing it, were any of them doing it successfully?
I don't think so.
And that's the thing. Like, everyone that I hear who's doing, like, especially like OkCupid and things like that, very rarely.
Like, for me at that time in my life when I wasn't looking for anything serious.
Right.
It was nice to go out on dates.
Okay.
And just meet other people.
Yeah.
I think if you're looking for like that long-term thing, that's probably horrifying.
Right.
Like I was just looking to meet other people that were straight and not like uppity UPenn bros.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my thought. But yeah, I can't. I mean, there are plenty of people on there looking for the one, which does happen sometimes. Sometimes you.
Yeah, but usually, from what I've seen of people who, it's always, I've never really seen it from the like certain dating sites. Like I've never heard of like.
Oh, this is the best site to use. Like
yeah, I've never heard like, oh, I met my partner through life on Grindr. Like I've never heard that story before. Yeah, I've never heard this is my wife. We've been together for X amount of years. I met her on OkCupid. I've seen like I've met my girlfriend on OkCupid and we've been together for a long period of time. But I don't think I've seen we've been married, we've had kids. Because it's still kind of new. Mm-hmm. So maybe like 10, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, I'll start meeting people who met on OkCupid and they're together and they have kids and shit like that. Mm-hmm. But as of right now, like I just don't know anyone. Like I've known people who met off MySpace and they're still together. I know people who met off of Facebook and, they're together kind of, because Facebook can get real messy real quick. So yeah, I guess that pretty much wraps up the show for the week. We didn't get that many responses for the question of the week. You know what? We'll just keep asking it. Mm-hmm. I know that there was a little bit of a snafu with the link, but we'll get that fixed. So this week's question, Lauren, do you have anything?
No, I am with things off the top of my head. Let's ask, has anyone, you kind of glaring at me right now, or you just wincing at me?
No, I'm like riding with you.
Okay. I'm wondering if anyone has met their significant other online.
I think we should just keep it like that on surface level. Mm-hmm. So how many people have met their significant other online, any form of online?
Yeah, even if it was through Facebook.
Facebook, SoundCloud. Twitter. Any type of Instagram, any type of social media where, it's kind of one of those things. Could you imagine meeting someone through Snapchat?
That would be wild.
I think that would be really tough.
Yeah, that's like a diamond in a rough type thing, like a needle in a haystack.
Yeah,
story.
That shit would be, that's probably pretty intense. But yeah, so if anyone has met any of their significant others via any type of social media or online tool, holler at us and let us know. Should we set up a Facebook page or should we just keep rocking out with the same spaces Facebook page? I think if we set up a Facebook page, it'd actually be kind of cute because we could put our recipes in there. We could put the questions in there. Like it could be. Cute. Would you be into monitoring it and keeping it?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do it.
Aw, appreciate your honesty.
Yeah. Well, I try to be as honest as possible. Sometimes I'm a little bit too honest. Yeah.
Graphically.
What?
All right, let's say goodnight.
I wish I could AutoTune that. Anyway. Good night, folks.
Good night.